Time to record more of this shit. For the greater good. Cutscene, fade to black. We're still in the ravine, the dead end. Benphilia walks up, all bundled up and looking cute and cozy. Antecedent, you came to us straight from the archives of House Fortune. I trust your time there proved fruitful. Wow, I can't read right now. Hold on. Would that it had. Orionje and I scoured countless texts, but what we found was of questionable veracity. Accounts of Shiva's life and deeds are sparse and contradictory, only agreeing upon one point. She lay down with a dragon, the gravest of all sins, according to the Ishgardian faith. Yet in the eyes of Iceheart's followers, this was a holy act, the blessed union of man and dragon. How such a thing could even be possible is quite another question. Suffice to say, I very much doubt that we will find a useful answer in the archives of House Fortune. Much knowledge has been lost over the centuries, though in this case, one wonders if it is by circumstance or design. You said that Iceheart took a moment to plead her case prior to escaping, did you not? You explain what happened? Viewed without prejudice, most would agree that bringing an end to an endless war serves the greater good. I think Sir Aymeric might take issue with her methods. A knight runs up to Sir Aymeric. I do not care if a few stragglers manage to escape. Until the sappers confirm the tunnel is safe, the men are not to search it. Yes, Lord Commander. And the knight goes running off. Alphinaud walks over to Aymeric. You pursue your foes with less zeal than I had expected, Sir Aymeric. Lest you misunderstand, I do not deny that our enemy has given us good reason to be prudent. I merely meant, you being a man of faith, that I had expected a certain single-mindedness. After all, was it not by the will of Helone that your ancestors came to this land? Why they took up arms against the Dravanians? What would they have done in your position, I wonder? There are those who believe that faith is a renunciation of free will, that unquestioning devotion is required of all who would live a life in service to the Fury. Such righteous fervor may well serve a knight on the front line, less so a leader of men. We are all at liberty to interpret the scriptures as we will. I choose to believe that the Fury would value the lives of her followers over the deaths of her enemies. But I would not presume to speak for the Knights of Eld. 'Twas a different time, nay, a different era, and scriptures tell us only so much. Would that it told us more. Another knight comes running up. This one female. Says something to Aymeric. Aymeric says something back. Alphinaud walks off. The female knight salutes and goes running off. That man is awfully pragmatic for a servant of the Holy See. A welcome trait at the negotiating table, to be sure, less so when one's enemies are making ready to harness the power of a god. Mayhap he does not truly believe that Iceheart's plan can succeed. Truth be told, I too remain somewhat skeptical. She thinks. Shiva was real, a living, breathing woman. Of that there can be no doubt. In this respect, she differs from every other figure to have been summoned, each of whom was worshipped as a god. The sole exception being good King Mogulmog XII, the myth made manifest in response to the fervent supplications of the Mogulsguard. Saint Shiva may differ, but what of the heretics? They are a tribe of outcasts at war with a mighty nation who yearn for the resurrection of the one who embodies their beliefs. If that is not placing one's faith in a higher power, then what is? Crystals and conviction, Benphilia, they have them both in abundance. One of the crystal braves comes up to Alphinaud. Benphilia talks to you. Can that truly be all that is required? The crystal brave runs off. My team has concluded a preliminary analysis of the Aetherite Iceheart used to escape. They believe that she has teleported to another Aetherite somewhere not far to the west. Despite the apparent proximity of this second Aetherite, however, they have been wholly unable to detect its presence directly. Unless Iceheart has some means to mask its signal, I can only presume she had it destroyed to prevent us from following her. Without the means to teleport as she did, we have no choice but to search for an alternate route, most likely a tunnel, assuming one exists. Let us not give up on teleportation just yet. One of our colleagues in Charlian may be able to assist us. I pray that you are right. I dare not think how long it will take us to survey the entire tunnel system. For that's what we were inside in Snowcloak, just tunnels and ice bridges and land bridges sheathed with ice. And while Manphilia looks into our aetheryte problem, I would like to request your assistance with another matter. The 3rd unit is currently tracking the remnants of the heretic force which attacked us. However, the search goes poorly despite our numbers. Korthus is vast, and Iceheart's followers know the terrain far better than we. Your knowledge of this region may serve to hasten the process. The sooner we capture Iceheart's followers, the sooner we can press them for their leader's whereabouts. Also, though it is admittedly a selfish request, I feel that my braves would benefit immensely from working alongside you. While we have our share of veterans, we also have more than a few less experienced recruits, many of whom look up to you, in case you are not aware. Manphilia nods. You nod back. All. Good, I knew you would understand. Yu Hase can apprise you of the details. When the task is complete, come and find me at the observatorium. Captain Ilberd and I are meeting there to discuss the latest developments in his investigation. The Temple Knight shall hold Snowcloak in our absence. Let us leave them to their work. Ours is more pressing. Here's Yu Hase. There you are, Mercy. Commander Levalier instructed me to wait for you. Your assistance is most welcome. Believe me, most of the 3rd hail from Ul'dah, and for a man accustomed to the feel of sand beneath his boots, the crunch of snow can be rather disconcerting. But to the matter at hand, nary a moment ago I received word that the heretics we seek have been spotted making for Danafin Pass. My braves are already in pursuit, and I should be grateful if you would join them. I myself shall be taking part in the hunt. Okay, good. Never let it be said that I do not earn my coin. Alright, 3rd unit Brave has that common stance in this game, a knee on the ground, a boot on the ground, one hand on the ground, and the other arm kind of resting on the knee, breathing heavily as if something has happened here. Thal's balls, my ankle is on fire. Caught my boot on a rock or something and twisted it as I fell. The others went on ahead through Danafin Pass. Hurry and you might catch up. If you aren't sure where to go, look for tracks. This snow is fresh, so they shouldn't be hard to find. Are there tracks? I see. Ooh, big old monster. Should I kill it? Nah. Got no reason to. Alright, we're back at that kind of like where the land looks like it's kind of reaching out with claws with red blood red crystal underneath and then snow on top. What do they call this place? The Boulder Downs? I don't know. Wait, hold on. No, anyway. Here's some fresh prints. Bel Air. Bel Air. The tracks lead southeast. Third Unit Brave. What's up, bud? Cyan, what are you doing here? The heretics? I'm not sure. There was a great-scaled beast and... Yu Hase? I think he went east on his own. The heretics split up, so we did too. How's it bad? Alright, we found Yu Yu Hase surrounded by one of those purple-black shrouds, which means there's a fight about to happen. Four shots and he's down. This one's going to be down in 3, I believe. Mage. Lower HP when you're a mage. How embarrassing. I was so intent on following the heretics' tracks that I almost failed to notice they had doubled back. Almost, mind you. One tried to sneak up behind me and got a knife in the gut for his troubles. I thought myself alone, so I started searching the dead man's knapsack for anything of interest, and lo and behold, before his friends found me, I came upon this. He hands over, I guess it's a note. Withdraw in groups of 3 or less to the observatorium. Give the signal and wait. The merchant will be watching. Be late and be left for dead. Speaks for itself, does it not? They can't possibly mean to rendezvous inside the place, so we should restrict our search to the surrounding areas. Let me rephrase that. You should restrict your search to the wilderness around the observatorium. I will need more than a moment's rest to recover from these wounds. Yes, sir. Yu Yu Hase, sir. Yu Yu Hase. Alright, suspicious Corathan is outside the walls. Cutscene fade to black. I am through with listening to your excuses. We leave now. How? The woods are crawling with those bluecoats, and the knights are searching every wagon that passes through the gates, says a suspicious merchant. Well, stay with her, then, if you think you'll fare any better. And they both run, only to find Ilberd and Alphinaud. Now, there's no need for that. And they're speechless, and they try running off. Oh, there's nowhere to run. There are places like this in my homeland, sacred snow-capped peaks where blood must not be shed, says Yugiri, coming into the fray. Yet your lands are athirst for the blood of the fallen, and by your deeds it has drunk deep. No, I have done nothing, done no wrong. None but meet in secret with heretics. Deny it all you will. We shall have the truth from you yet. Inquisitors are not the only ones skilled in the art of interrogation. Damn it all. He faints, sort of. Falls to his knees, like, oh, woe is me. Fencing meeting you here, Mercy. I presume your work with the third brought you hither. What a tangled web. Lest you wonder, we came not for the heretics, but for the merchant who has been conspiring with them. He came to our attention during the course of our investigation into the Ivy. It beggars belief, I know, but it seems our favorite Garlean spy may have been providing assistance to Iceheart. Were it not for the efforts of Lady Yugiri and her shinobi, we might never have discovered this connection. Master Alphinaud is too kind. I fear my people and I have done little to aid your search for this spy. We long to strike back against the Empire and weaken their influence in this land, to prevent the tragedy which befell Doma from reoccurring. The days ahead, and the work they promise will require a very particular set of skills which I am fortunate enough to possess. If you will allow it, I would accompany you until the investigation is complete. That is a most generous offer, Lady Yugiri, and one which I gladly accept. Thank you. Though I may disappear for a time, know that I shall never be far, and shall always be watching. Comforting thought. Come, Mercy, let us wait inside for Captain Ilberd to return and deliver his report. We are not inside. This is still outside Alphinaud. Captain Ilberd seemed confident that the merchant's resolve would swiftly crumble when pressed. If so, we should have new information ere long. As to whether it will bring us any closer to learning the Ivy's identity, I would rather not say. Given our adversary's cunning, I shall consider us fortunate if we are spared another wild dodo chase. The gods know we have more than enough to occupy our time as it is. For the greater good is complete. The greater good. Tendrils of Intrigue is the next one. Cutscene, fade to black. Ilberd comes walking up to meet the two of us, Alphinaud and I. Salutes Alphinaud. Captain Ilberd, your report, if you will. Aye, Commander. Firstly, with regard to the heretic we captured, I regret to say that the man could tell us naught that we did not already know of Shiva. We have since handed him over to the Ishgardian authorities. Henceforth, the Holy See will pursue the matter independently. Our inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, have proven more fruitful. We have ascertained the channel by which the heretics acquired their information on the shipment routes. Go on. You will recall the flame we first identified as being in the Ivy's employ. From him we were able to trace a trail of conspirators, each taking us closer to his master. Alas, the trail came to an abrupt end. Fearing that the investigation had been compromised, we took the necessary step of detaining all suspected of conspiracy. There were 5 on our list, including a flame stationed at Revenant's Toll. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad, the particulars of which he would share with benefactors, thereby ensuring that needs did not go unfulfilled. By virtue of his role, he was privy to the details of all shipments bound for the settlement. Needless to say, that included those originating from House Forton. He knew the precise route the caravan would take, and he sold that information to a merchant. I think I can take a guess which one. None other. With a little encouragement, he soon confessed to knowingly aiding and abetting the heretics. Well, that is one mystery solved at least, but what of the Ivy? Are we any closer to prizing off his mask? I dare say we are, Commander. Our relentless pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In a desperate bid to cover its tracks, the Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available only to high-ranking members of the Immortal Flames. If you consider then that our investigation is known to barely a handful of them, the fields of suspects is greatly narrowed. You mean to say that the agent is among Raban's innermost circle? Someone who has been with him since the Immortal Flame's establishment? 'Tis the most plausible explanation. The infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding, with the groundwork for the act being laid beforehand. To slip into a position of authority unremarked and remain above suspicion all these years. I too was surprised, though I really should not have been. Of the 3 grand companies, Uldaz was ever the more vulnerable to infiltration. Both Limsalamins and Gridania had long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the formation of the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder. To all intents and purposes, it was the same people, loyal ones, mind, under the same leadership. Only the banner was different. Not so with the Flames. Uldaz's military was made up of disparate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies that answered only to their own paymasters. Hardly an ideal environment in which to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Raban faced when founding the Immortal Flames are well known. Even after he had convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the costs, there remained the small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks. Indeed, and given the pressing nature of the Imperial threat, that meant recruiting every passing sellsword. Amidst the chaos of its founding, it would have been child's play to infiltrate the company. A good deal easier than now. A good deal easier than now. Wow. The Immortal Flames have ever been caught between conflicting interests, the public and the private. Though the monetarists ultimately agreed to support the organization's founding, 'twas not out of charity that they did so, but simple self-preservation. Had Nael van Darnas's ambitions been any less apocalyptic, you may be sure that they would never have risked supplying Raban with an army. 'Tis but a wonder they did not attempt to extinguish the flames the moment the danger had passed. Returning to the present. Even as we speak, our Doman allies are shadowing several high-ranking flames, any one of whom could be the Ivy. Desiring to deal a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from them ere long. Blah. Very good. Pray continue your investigation with the first. Meanwhile, have the second attend to the unrest. The third can join the fourth in inspecting crystal shipments. If they notice anything unusual, I want to know about it. If Shiva is summoned in like manner to the other primals, the heretics will be looking for further supplies. Understood, Commander. I shall send word to Sir Aymeric, informing him of our success in identifying the heretics' abettors. Hopefully the information will be of some use to the Ishgardians. It is time, Commander. Yes, I am aware. An emergency council of the Alliance leadership has been called. There have been developments in Garlemald, it would seem. As commander of the Crystal Braves, my presence has been requested. I would have you accompany me, Mercy. As the realm's stoutest champion, 'tis only meet that you be present for the discussion. Oh, and the antecedent has already given her consent, lest you worry. Yeah, get some water, take a break from talking, but we're still in the quest, technically, so... Like me, you are doubtless eager to conclude our business with Iceheart, but until another path to her sanctum is found, she will remain beyond our reach. Minfilia and the Archons are sparing no effort to secure an alternate route. Until such time as they succeed, I suggest we give some thought to the realm's other problems. shall go on ahead to Gridania in readiness for the coming council. Meet me at Naufika's altar, and we shall make our way to the Lotus Stand together. Alright. Free teleport back to Gridania. Agua. Mucho agua. Take the teleportation powers over to the Conjurer's Guild. Why, thanks for coming, Mercy. When you are ready, speak with the conjurer yonder. She will show us to the Lotus Stand. Silent conjurers, not so silent. The Alliance leaders await you at the Lotus Stand. Will you be joining them now? Apparently. Can somebody else please talk?
Change has come to the Garlean Empire, and we must discuss the implications.
Thank God.
The rumors are true, then? The War of Succession is ended?
It is. A new emperor reigns in Garlemald.
Who?
We are apparently panning over to Garlemald.
The birth and all too rapid expansion of the Garlean Empire is commonly attributed to the strategic brilliance of Solus Zosgalvis, yet he did not rule alone. Several members of the royal household also distinguished themselves during his reign. Nevertheless, it was the eldest son who stood to inherit the throne, until his most untimely passing.
I thought us fortunate when I learned that the Emperor had died without naming a successor.
We are seeing a scene of a thick black, red, gold armored vampire looking dude. Like long flowing whitish, silverish hair, kind of palish white face. Not white, but like, you know, Caucasian face. Like a long flowing robe on either side of him. Like, and he's looking at a coffin. A gold and black coffin with some sharp gold designs on it. He spits on the coffin. He has a shroud.
Would that the Garlean Empire had died with him.
And he walks away slowly from the coffin. Not in a hurry at all.
'Twas the grandson and his uncle who had the strongest claims, was it not?
Now we're seeing like a giant kind of... It's like a statue. I don't know. Gold, black. Small dragon atop. Oh, he's got a helmet with it's mostly gold and black.
Indeed. Yet claims count for little without the power to assert them. High Legatus Varus Ye Galvus is a respected military leader. Not so his uncle.
Yeah, so gold and black kind of dragon-like helmet. Doesn't really sit that well on his head, honestly. I don't know how it stays.
So young Varus has torn the crown from his uncle's grasp and taken his place at the head of the Empire.
There's a legion of soldiers in black gear. Black and red gear. They all salute as he turns. He frowns. He's not a happy-looking man. And we're back at the Lotus Stand.
Given the troubled nature of his succession, the new emperor will require time to seal his grip on power. Yet have no doubt but that he shall, for there are none left with strength enough to oppose him.
Since the success of Operation Archon, the remnants of the 14th Legion and the forces occupying Alamigo have done naught but fortify their positions. But you can be sure they'll be ready to march on us again, if their Emperor gives the word.
When, not if. They say this Varus was so set upon Eorzean annexation that he spoke out against the Meteor Project.
Plainly, the new Emperor's intentions are of great concern to us all. I propose that we set aside the Cartano dispute for the present, and discuss what measures the Alliance might take to prepare for a resumption of hostilities with Garlemald. Moreover, I move that we re-examine the question of how our former allies in Ishgard might be persuaded to retake their place at our side. Could Eorzea but stand as one, 'twould deal a grave blow to our enemies' ambitions.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful that they have finally acknowledged the inevitability of Imperial attack. Who knows? They may even do something about it. If only the leaders of Ishgard would follow their example and stop hiding behind their gates, praying for the coming storm to pass them by. But that is a discussion for another time. At present, I am more concerned by the fact that the Alliance's mooted preparations will be made known to the Garleans many moons before their coming. So long as the ivy eludes our grasp, no secret is safe.
Alright, everybody has left the meeting. We're back outside. You will not have escaped your notice that the nations of Eorzea are no nearer to being of one purpose, despite their protestations to the contrary. Plainly, the threat of a resurgent Garlemald is not enough to stir them. And the reason for this? Deep-rooted mistrust among the citizenry. The nation's leaders can come to all the understandings they like, but their unity means little and less to the common folk. Take the Lominsons, for instance. Though Admiral Merlvib outlawed piracy over a decade ago, foreigners still picture the nation as a haven for grog-swilling, wooden-legged cutthroats. And likewise, the Gridanians are mocked as hermits who talk trees, and the Old Dons scorned as swindlers who worship coin. Not that such sentiments are entirely without grounds, of course. Take that pillar of Old Don society Telegi Adelegi, for example. But that is beside the point. The fact is that people are wary of outsiders, whether they have cause to be or not. On that basis, one could argue that the conflict at Cartano is a necessary evil. Each nation has its own warmongering faction that advocates the acquisition of Omega in order to placate them, that we present them something resembling warfare, and thereby curb their appetite for full-scale conflict. But enough idle musing, let us speak of a more pressing matter, the Ivy. Since we spoke at the Observatorium, Captain Ilberd has further shortened his list of suspects, and by happy coincidence, the one he deems the most likely candidate has lately come to Gridania. The hunt nears its end, Mercy. All that remains is to corner our quarry. Seek out Ilberd near the Adder's Nest. He will give you the particulars. Should there be any developments in Korthus, you may be sure that I will send word without delay. In the meantime, I wish you success in apprehending the Ivy. The Adder's Nest? That's where you are? Well, yeah, we'll just go to the main. I'm already here, basically. I like how I spent a fair amount of time when I was first making Mercy and like planning out what I was gonna do as far as which jobs to play and when. I spent a lot of time considering whether or not I should level at least Archer or Thief to like the appropriate level to get their speed boost, which is useful in towns where you can't mount, and useful in dungeons, more useful in dungeons in a group if you're an archer. But also, I wouldn't be doing it in dungeons, so that eliminates one of the needs for it. And in towns, you have all the crystals you can warp to. Still, a fair amount of running, but in the course of time, it would have taken probably more time to level one of those jobs just to get that speed boost than it would take to just do everything without the speed boost. And there's also the idea that I probably wouldn't remember every time I was in a town to switch from job to job. So, anyway, Ilberd. My thanks for coming, Scion. Doubtless the commander has informed you, but we have unmasked the Ivy. From this point on, we must proceed with extreme caution. Time to take some gil, as usual, because I have out-geared all the other gear drops here. That is it for this video. It's 31 and a half minutes long so far. It doesn't need to be any longer. And thanks for stopping by. I will make probably a few more tonight, because, you know, what else am I going to do with my time? Except for watch Walking Dead, catch up on that. But anyway, see ya soon. Okay, bye.